First of all, hey, good morning, or good afternoon, Vinny, for you, and thanks for having me on this podcast session with your group. We are fortunate to be talking with you and Workday, who are our strategic partner. What I want to discuss today is in the area of AI and hyper automation. I am the CEO, co-founder of Aisera. Aisera as a company is now close to 4-year-old company. We started in late 2017. Before that, I came out of ServiceNow, and our goal is to automate help desk, customer service, operations for both internal customer service to external customer service. And today, the focus is mainly on how AI and automation can improve the experience and productivity for users.
So you said you came from ServiceNow. Is this also a workflow-oriented tool, or tell us how you're different?
Yeah, so definitely a good thing. So ServiceNow is a good partner for us too. And how we do it, we coexist with ServiceNow. We automate, get the best out of ServiceNow, best out of the Workday, Salesforce, and Zendesk ecosystems. What we do is we sit in front of ServiceNow and we look at ServiceNow tickets, we look at ServiceNow catalog and orchestration. And the goal is always to enable the users. As I go through the presentation, you'll see Vinay is where are the users are hanging around today? They are in the platform like Microsoft Teams, Zoom, like we are doing a Zoom call today, are there in the platform like Slack. Our goal is how can I enable those users to do more in those platforms, and whether they use backend being Workday or ServiceNow, doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
With this, I think something that I've been talking to a lot of CIOs throughout during the COVID, as you come in 2021 with the post-pandemic, there are 5 trends in our area that's standing out a lot when I talk to the C-level people. One is user engagement and collaboration. And I'll talk a lot on that throughout this presentation. Second is employee experience. We're all going to be in hybrid cloud world, distributed teams, depending on new normal, we are going there. There's a new category that's emerging. You probably heard about, some people call it conversational AI, some people call it AI-driven customer service. The other one is hyper automation. You probably saw with vendors from ServiceNow to UiPath to Automation Anywhere, a lot of vendors trying to automate workflows. They call them the bots, right? To do their anything that's robotic process automation that can be automated so that the users' productivity is improved. Finally, can we stitch all these things to provide some kind of a new customer service contact center? That's a trend that I'm seeing out in the marketplace, and this is why I want to share these 5 trends with you.
Okay.
Now, if you see what's happening, the employee challenges though, we continue to hear this word, teams are distributed, right? There's a lot of employee effort, and many of the requests are still manually done. When if you want to, let's say, get your VPN installed, or if you want to get access to Microsoft Office, many of these things are still done with IT in the loop. There should be a self-service here so that this can be done, because there's no office anymore. You'll be working from your home office for years to come now, for some time, right? So given all those things, these are still the top challenges that are existing, whether for IT domain, HR domain. And I've seen your blogs, meaning you talk a lot about how IT and HR are merging, and HR is important for customer experience. And this kind of relates to many of the thoughts you are having as well, Vinay.
Is it primarily RPA white collar jobs, or are you also entering? Because I saw a presentation a couple of days ago about warehouse bots, right? I mean, the whole physical world also has a number of automation trends. So where are you focused?
We are only focused on the customer service and IT. You call it white collar jobs. Like for the IT jobs, mainly I'm focusing on the 3 groups: IT, customer service, HR, wherever the administrative work is needed in the white collar computer IT infrastructure area. Then if you look at the experience, it's been a decade of an experience that I've been reading articles, right? So I've been going through this personal journey with users. It's been downtrend. Like we are still using web portals, right? I mean, come on, web portals are like before, it's like my grandfather time. Most millennials don't even understand many of these things. Many people don't even use phone. I mean, you're not going to call and pick up a phone in the middle of the night. You just want a self-service sitting in front of a chat platform, or in front of some kind of an engagement platform. So the experiences continue to be driven down. What is happening though is the new 3 platform came into existence during the pandemic. As you know, Zoom is the number 1 in this, right? Like I'm interviewing with you on a Zoom call. Microsoft Teams have hundreds of millions of users now. They live on Teams for hours to come, not for like 10 minutes. Like average employee spends 4 to 6 hours in Teams,
Oh yeah.
right? So that's where their work is done. And finally, Slack is another one that Salesforce acquired. So they're also getting into this game. So my point is, these are your happy hour platforms. This is where employees are hanging around. So in these platforms, Workday and ServiceNow have to enable users, and that's where we come in. So if you are in Teams and you have an HR request, you want to update your address, you want to change your health benefits, or you want to add a dependent, you don't need to learn the Workday tool. Aisera will do all of that. You talk in a natural language. It's like you're talking to Alexa device at your home or right? You can through phone or email just say, update my address or change my benefits. So our goal is to interpret a common language of a user and take that and take an appropriate action.
Okay.
And other thing that I want to highlight is what I've been hearing is the 10 for last 10 years, the number of the cost for ServiceNow has been continues to go up. I mean, I have not met a single CIO yet who says that my cost for ServiceNow, I paid less to ServiceNow in the last 10 years. This has to change, right? You can't
You can't blame McDermott for that, right? It's been happening for the last 10 years.
exactly. I don't blame anybody, but this is the reality. But if customers are screaming and say, I need a help.
Yeah.
So every ServiceNow customer say, hey, if you can come and cut my license cost, give me some relief. I would take that and invest on my people. I want to hire more people. So taking a bite out of the license cost is very important. And that's where the AI really comes in. So then if you look at the workflow side, remember ServiceNow has ServiceNow orchestration, Workday also has all these workflows. What employees are asking me is, these now end users, not your help desk people, a common Joe or a Jane, an employee is saying, hey, if I have a request in Salesforce or my Okta or my Workday or Adobe, pick any SaaS platforms or on-premise enterprise software requests or even systems requests, right? It could be your Cisco, Juniper, they should not be relying on the right side IT people to do their job. Right? Today, everything goes through human in the middle. Is there a way some of these flows can be automated? Some may not be. Some may always require human. And that's where Aisera comes in. That's what I call this one AI-driven workflow automation. Some people call them employee workflows, IT workflows, right? Some people call it customer workflows. So understanding the user needs and executing those workflows for the user on behalf of the user without requiring an IT white collar people. If you can solve this problem, we can improve the productivity across the world. When you like it, thoughts, comments?
I'm looking for. Keep going.
Okay.
I'm here.
And the way in which we are thinking of doing it is again the two-phase process. First is to do this, you need to have a deep integrations and connectors into a variety of systems, right? Every organization will have hundreds of different of systems, applications, cloud SaaS platforms. So you can't say, so we have like thousands of different integration points across all of them. I kind of listing few of them here. And idea here is on the right side, when a user makes a request on any channel of their choice, again, it could be through email, voice,
Oh, I'm
text.
looking at this. I'm looking at this slide. I'm saying differentiate yourself from Okta then.
Very good. So we will leverage Okta. So Okta, what it does is Okta does a single sign-on. But what if you want to install Microsoft Office? Okta does not do that. So somebody has to still have to go into Microsoft Office, install the Office on your laptop, or install the Office credentials in your lap, right? Similarly, if you want to put a VPN agent, Okta does not take a VPN agent and install it in a mobile device or add that app. So providing the entire workflow to get that application, we will do it. We may leverage Okta to get your Active Directory or Okta for single sign-on.
Okay.
Right? And these things, the way in which you do it is you need to first of all what we call the workflows. Some either these workflows are pre-built-in workflows. So Aisera offers an Aisera catalog. Aisera comes with a catalog of templates. Now, if the templates already exist in ServiceNow, we can pre-read the third-party flows. They could be ServiceNow, UiPath, right? Automation Anywhere. We take the existing workflows and automate them, or they can take the templates from us and automate them. So they don't have to recreate anything from scratch. So taking the user request on the left side And they could be, as I'm listed here, it could be on software access, it could be cyber security, it could be for HR request and executing the workflow. Along the way, you may touch multiple systems, Active Directories, Okta, and the end application. We do all of that and doing it in a conversational manner so the user gets a rich experience and they don't have to rely on a human being to get it done. That's why I call this one a conversational RPA or conversational AI. And our goal is to sit in front of Workday and ServiceNow to help Workday users. I want to give you another example. You can take this one all the way to contact center. What if somebody wants to make a phone call to do it in front of Salesforce, right? It's not just Workday. So far we talked about ServiceNow and Workday. Taking this to external customer service to automate a phone request, a voice request from an IVR and a contact center. So this one we call it voice bot, right? So voice transaction also can be automated. Now, there is anything that I obviously don't automate will go back to always a contact center agent, Vinny. But our goal is look, what percentage can I automate? Then the next question is how accurately can we do it that the users. It turns out that in last 4 years with our customers being like Zoom, Workday itself is a customer for us. Then companies like McAfee, 8x8, like we have a whole bunch of new customers, right? Ring Central, we figured out that 70-80% of these requests can be automatable. So it's the other way around. So 80% of requests, either voice or chat or email, don't go to the IT or customer service anymore through Aisera. That's huge. Imagine how many amount of resources we can reduce and how much amount of cost can we do it, and those resources can do something else. It's a tight labor market, Winnie, even for white collar workers, as you know. So it's not by eliminating this, we're not trying to eliminate the jobs. Those people can move up to do other functions.
Okay.
Right? So a lot of people ask me, how are you able to do it? What's the technology behind this? There's a whole workflow engine we've created. It used to be called in the old days business process workflow. So we call it AI-driven workflow engine. The AI piece is to understand the natural language processing of the user and then executing the workflow either on-premise or on the cloud. Because I have enough customers, including federal government customers. Many of the systems are on-prem. They're not in the cloud. They're not on the SaaS platform. So it's not that we only work with SaaS, we work with on-premise systems as well, right? And that gives you the power of users to be able to automate many of these functions. And finally, the engagement platform where people are coming in is all of the above. People are coming through Zoom, Teams, Slack, IVRs. So we sit inside this platform so we understand what users are asking. That's how Workday is looking at it. Workday integration is for Slack and Teams to leverage where possible for Workday requests. Now, if I want to bring entire thing end to end, this is what Microsoft told us to do it. See, in case of Microsoft Teams, they want users to be empowered in Teams platform, as I was saying. So by putting Aisera behind Teams in front of Workday and their Microsoft Dynamics, Active Directory, Okta, so we are able to automate and virtualize those requests in a way it provides a natural language interface for users in Teams. And this is a partnership we are enjoying with Microsoft a lot. Same thing we are doing for IVRs. Remember earlier I talked about contact centers. So we can do this thing from companies like Avaya, Genesys, Cisco, right? So any contact center out there, we will sit behind the contact center. So we get the audio to text and we can perform text requests. So this is what I mean by the voice bot or conversational IVR bot. And this is a very interesting thing. And you see the trend that's happening. Microsoft acquired Nuance for $30 billion. Zoom acquired Five9 for $15 billion. So the reason all these are happening is both Microsoft and Zoom want to automate the voice request, starting from primarily they're starting with healthcare providers, right? Particularly during COVID. You can't have your doctor, nurse get into a computer when you're trying to save a patient.
Yep. On your previous slide, are you seeing any interest in people saying when you're going to support Zoom or Google, or is it mostly Teams? You've decided on?
No, it's all of them. We support all of them. I cannot choose only that. We support Zoom, we support Teams, Slack, Google, even WebEx Teams. We don't discriminate anybody. We are equal partner opportunity company. Vinny, if you have a company that you want me to partner, let me know. We'll work with anybody, right? So finally, the look, it's all for experience, but there's always a business guy will come and saying that my finance wants to do an ROI calculation. I tell people there is an ROI, but the reason to do this is not primarily for ROI. It's mainly for experience and engagement. But the benefit is a virtual agent or virtual assistant is anytime gives you 10x more saving than a human FTE. So that calculation you can easily calculate. So you can start seeing return on investment on the same year within 3 to 6 months. And these are hard savings, right? If you take some expense out of the cost here, this expense is immediately saved in their both in their capex, opex, how they're running
That
their
for,
infrastructure.
are you comparing English to English, or are you comparing a virtual agent that can do multilingual and so on?
We support, very good question, sir. We actually support all of them. We do English to English, English to multi-language, multi-language to English too. So somebody could be speaking in question in Japanese, you're not, and we may be the agent may be in English. We will be the virtual agent providing English. You can ask a question in English, and the agent could be Japanese answer. We can bridge that too.
Okay, yeah, the savings would really explode then, right?
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. Like McAfee, to give you a nice story, we have a customer with McAfee. We are on the McAfee worldwide, right? Japanese, English, French, Chinese. So the savings they get is, I think, close to $10 million a year, right? They have 300 million users. McAfee is a well-known brand. I mean, my parents use McAfee too on their laptop. So whenever they call, my dad calls, hey, my McAfee is not working. Their call is going through Aisera.
Okay.
Here are some of our partners and customers. It's a good logo list just to highlight who are some of my key partners and features. Look, as I said, Zoom, Dartmouth, Workday, 8x8, right? A whole bunch of Cisco. There are many of the customers we've been working with, RingCentral, Microsoft, Amazon, right? Google. So this has been a great partnership for us lately, right? Across the board, Salesforce, ServiceNow. So good news is there is people are realizing the benefits we are offering, and this is a good validation for our approach so far, Vinny. And finally,
The
recently,
Workday relationship is both at the product level and obviously you're a venture company.
absolutely, sir. Workday is a partner, investor, plus they're a customer. More importantly,
Oh, okay.
Workday employees use us too, right? So it's like it's like eating your own champagne or whatever you would drink your own champagne kind of philosophy between us. And finally, Zoom recently announced us a partnership, right? We have a announcement, and we are lucky to make this announcement recently, right? So with Zoom and our partnership, we've been enjoying it. So Zoom is using it both for internal IT, HR, all the way to customer service, automation, and billing and revenue operations. So
Are you part of the growing Zoom apps, Zaps ecosystem, or no?
yeah, actually, look, as I said, Zoom, we are kind of integrated with Zoom. It's called Zoom Chat and Zoom Apps. That is also there. But we are saying Zoom itself is using us as a customer and a
Oh,
partner.
yeah, okay, okay.
And that's again, usually people ask me what my strengths and why it is. Just as a high level technology detail, the key is the AI. Obviously, it starts with the way in which we do our unsupervised natural language processing and NLU with knowledge graphs. That's our key foundation. Then the workflows being fully AI driven and offering a conversational interface for RPAs. And finally, at the end, it's all the user. See, our focus is user, right? User is my first class citizen. I'm focusing many like you, right? I'm betting on people's interest. What is your request is. So think of like how ad companies have done, focusing on the user. We are like the user behavioral analysis in this space for the user focus.
Okay.
A typical challenge that we're trying to offer to people is, hey, can you save $1 million with us? At least take a bet, right? It's an AI transformation challenge. So using this, how much cost can you save? Is something I offer as a challenge. And if they listen to you and if they contact you and mention your name, we'll give them 50% off, Vinny. Something as a call to action for people with your partnership with us today. And finally, I think people also ask me, hey, by sitting this, how are you really saving the licenses? So this is a very good slide to convey. We kind of say, look, if I'm sitting in front of ServiceNow, right, that's a power, right? So look, it is a hard hour. You can't argue about it. If I can reduce the number of licenses along with number of agents needed, it's huge. So it's not the question of If it's a question of when can you start implementing this, we can show you the value right away. Hope that's of a quick update for Vinny
Yeah,
to your users.
very good. Thank you.